Ready? Okay. All right. Call to order. Get a declaration of quorum.
Matthews.
Here.
Madsen.
Here.
Oatmeal.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
Fickner.
Here.
Seahorn.
Here.
Richter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. If I could ask Vice Mayor Daniel Matthews to give us our invitation, please.
Sure. Please stand with me as well. Lord, we love you. Thank you for the opportunity to come together and consider the business of this city. We ask that you give us wisdom as we consider these important items tonight. Lord, on the wake of April 19th, and we remember all the affected 30 years ago in the Oklahoma City bombing, but also 2 years ago in our tornado here at home. Lord, we're thankful for you can turn beauty from ashes. Lord, we remember Easter yesterday and the sacrifice that your son made for us. We praise him for it. We thank him for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. You join me in the flag salute, please. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First things first. We've got a couple of recognitions this evening. Item number one is the recognition of the Shawnee High School girls swim team state championship win. If we could have them come up.
Could you be any louder?
So who wants to tell me what you did? I know what you did. I want you to tell
We
everybody
won
else.
state for the fourth time in a row with the help of our coach, amazing coaches, Valerie Colburn and Bob McNeil in the far back. Get in here. We had 8 girls actually compete, and then there was either 16 or 15 girls that were on the team together in total. So we went back to our grade 8 as we did our first time.
Oh, wow. That was awesome. Congratulations, guys. So we've got a certificate of recognition for you. On this 21st day of April, 2025, the Shawnee High School girls swim team, on behalf of the city of Shawnee, to acknowledge the girls state class 5A state swimming championship win. 2025 state championship win. Congratulations, guys. We've got this certificate of recognition for y'all. I'll give it to you. You're here. We also have a commemorative coin that I want to give to your coaches. There you are. Perfect, thank you. Don't touch the coin.
Can I please get both coaches on either side of the mayor? That we're gonna stack, so I'm
And
gonna do the
then-
second row.
They also have to get these.
Yeah.
So, if you guys want to get them. Yep. You all want to put the picture? Yeah. Kelly, do it after. Hold real quick.
All right, thank you guys. You guys are amazing. Good job, sir. Now we have to get the boys on board, right? All right. And then while we're here, we also have Let me get my glasses back on here. Where have I put them?
Sir, could you state your name before you speak?
Yeah, I need to.
You want to borrow my glasses?
So we have the, item number 2, recognition of Pleasant Grove girls basketball state championship team.
They got hardware. Nice.
Oh, look at that trophy. Awesome.
I know about you.
Squeeze on a little bit. You want to let Ms. Devon tell us about what these ladies did?
We played 3 through 8 schools and we won our state championship.
I'm going to read this recognition, and then we'll look at these. I want y'all to tell me about those. So we have a certificate of recognition on this 21st day of April, 2025, to the Pleasant Grove 7th and 8th grade girls basketball team on behalf of the city of Shawnee to acknowledge the ORS Division III state championship win, 2025 state championship. Good job, guys.
So Devin, tell them who we have with us. We have Samantha Grayson, Clarissa Lena, Audrey Malone, me, Devin Patterson, Kerrigan Whitman, Eliana Shields, Layla Shields, Coach Steve, Miss Thompson, and Coach Whitman. Oh, and Mr. Guthrie, sorry.
The cutest baby, our head coach is Coach Trimble, who was on the first Pleasant Grove team to bring home a state championship. This is her first year to coach. She's a new mom, so first year to teach, first year to coach. As a new mom, and brought home the gold ball.
Wow. Awesome job, guys.
Not only that, they are back-to-back state champions.
Back to back. I'm assuming this goes in the trophy case at the school.
Oh, yeah, we're running out of space at this point.
Well, that's good. Keep adding to it.
Yep.
We also have a coin for you guys. I'll give you this.
We need it.
Can we just get the adults in the front, or the
Okay.
back, and the girls in the front?
Okay, we'll trade places. You're in front.
That we can get an alternate picture, and we can hold the. Just kind of leave the
boss
name.
Our little mascot. Know that. Let me have you spin down. It's a basketball player, for sure.
Good job, team. Thank you very much. Thank you, family.
We have a gift for you. We have a jersey that they signed.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. That's cool. We gotta take a picture of that. Come on, guys.
Okay,
Let's
get
take
in
one
there
more.
with
Last picture, he wants more.
Yeah.
Just get some both.
Do you girls have a championship pose?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Nope. I want to go in my head. All right. Okay, that's a good way to start a meeting. Lost my glasses. All right. On to item number 3, citizen participation. As per usual, it'll be 3-minute limit per person, 12-minute limit per topic. And first on our list is Mr. Wolf Googler.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Wolf Googler. I'm a Shawnee Twin Lakes leaseholder along with my wife, and I'm not here to complain about anything tonight. I actually wanted to commend the Shawnee Fire Department for the awesome job they did during the wildfires just over a month ago. We were evacuated twice at the lake. We had quite a bit of localized damage. I brought some pictures along, and you're welcome to see them or keep them if you want. When we returned to our house after being evacuated the second time, we had flames about 150 feet from the house. Shawnee Fire to the rescue. They arrived, they were able to contain the fire there. None of the structures were damaged. And the best part, I think, is everybody that was there. Chief James Korwanek was on site, his leadership team, the firefighters, they all did it with a smile on their face. Looks like they really enjoy what they do, and we appreciate that. And I also wanted to recognize and appreciate our Ward 2 Commissioner, Greta Madsen. She's jumped into this with both feet. She's talking to citizens, finding out what they need, what they want, and I think doing her best to represent our interest to the city. So, thanks very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And next on the list, we have Miss Claudia Crow.
And I am also not complaining. I understand that you are going to have a proclamation tonight recognizing small businesses in the city of Shawnee. My husband Ricky and I own Crow's Market on Main, and this happens to be our 25th year in downtown. So I would like to thank you for taking the time to recognize the importance of small businesses in your community. Corporations come and go. They have no ties to our community, but we do. We don't just pay property taxes and sales tax. We participate in a lot of community events. We bring customers from all over Oklahoma. A lot of our inland farmers market customers and Scissortail farmers market customers come to our store. During the holidays, most of the families that come to the store bring people from out of state to come and see what can be grown in Potawatomi County. We have been growing safe, good food for the people of our community for 38 years. And I know that because my son was 2 years old when we started this journey. And so it is very nice of you guys to give us the credit that we deserve. I would like to encourage you to continue having the meetings that we were having when the previous city manager was here. We met about once every other month with our city commissioner and the city staff so that we could be informed of what is going on. When you own a small business, you wear many hats, and time to come to meetings and participate in the decision-making of the city is not always something that we have. And so it was very important for Andrea to take the time to come and speak to us and kind of let us know what was going on. Whether you agree or disagree, it is important that you have that information in front of you so that then you can make an informed decision. You can be proactive and not reactive. So once again, thank you for recognizing our importance in your community. Small businesses are the backbone of any and every city, and it's downtown, it's the heart. We've had a lot of good times downtown, and we've had a lot of very tough times. I am not going to ignore those. Our business suffered a lot because of the homeless disasters that we had, and I can show you dollars and cents of how much money we lost because of that. So please don't just take for granted that that has been fixed, because it really has not. We've just shoved it to the side of the road for now, but we need to come up with long-lasting solutions so that the businesses downtown can thrive. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Miss Jennifer Epperly.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Jennifer Epperly, and I proudly serve as the principal at Jefferson Elementary. May is National Bike Safety Month, and at Jefferson, we're going to celebrate that in a big way. We are going to have our very first bike bus for National Bike to School Day on May 7th. Thanks to the great partnership with Commissioner O'Neill and POGO, we're going to be guiding a group of students on a safe and supervised ride to school that morning. We would love for you to join us, Mayor and Commissioner, and join our families for this ride. You may be asking yourself, what is a bike bus? A bike bus is an organized group of bike riders, typically led by adults, where children and families travel together to and from school or other destinations on their bicycle. This fosters a sense of community by encouraging kids and families to ride together, creating a social and fun experience. But for us, it's more than just a fun event. It is a way to show how important safe routes to school really are. Biking is more than just recreation for many of our families. That is how they get to our schools. And so when kids feel safe walking or biking, it builds independence, confidence, and a strong sense of community. We're asking for your continued support in making Shawnee safer for all students, especially at Jefferson's intersection of Wallace and Louisa. So for more information about joining us to celebrate that, you can reach me at Jefferson. But we would love for our city leaders to ride through the eyes of our students, and let's just continue making Shawnee a safe place for our kids.
Thank you. Next up, we have Ms. Kim Landholt.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for letting me speak. I've got a pretty big ask, so I've written it down, okay? Welcome to Pottawatomie County, home of the dump dog. Every day in Shawnee and across Pottawatomie County, abandoned dogs are found starving, injured, diseased, abused, or dead on the side of the road. They're confused, scared, broken. Because there is an abandoned dog crisis in the city of Shawnee and Pottawatomie County, I'm here to urge this body to work hand in hand with the county to implement a free, ongoing, and comprehensive spay-neuter program for dogs available to all Pottawatomie County residents. Cats matter too, but unlike cats, dogs cannot survive on their own. They are in immediate crisis. I am a volunteer with Saving Pets at Risk, known as SPAR. Our 501c3 dog rescue has been saving the lives of abandoned dogs in Pottawatomie County for 20 years. To say the abandoned dog crisis has increased exponentially every year is an understatement. The dump dogs and litters of puppies need your help. We need your help. Why is the overwhelming suffering of discarded pets only the responsibility of local rescues? Like all rescues around here, SPAR receives 0 city, county, or state funding. Yet it is local rescue volunteers who do all of the life-saving work, while also bearing the pressure to raise the many tens of thousands of dollars it takes to provide the expensive care discarded dogs need. To say the volunteers are completely overwhelmed is an understatement. We cannot expect to adopt, transport, or euthanize our way out of this crisis. We believe it's time for local government to face this crisis with a real solution. With a well-implemented free spay-neuter program, intake and abandonment numbers drop every year. This is one of the worst counties in the state for dog abandonment. It's not just the right thing to do, it's smart. Over time, the expense will go down, down, down with the long-term policy. Shawnee and this county can lead the way. This community can become the model others look to for how to end the suffering of abandoned dogs in their own communities. Wouldn't that be great? While many towns have animal control departments, yours is called animal welfare. Okay, I'll be back. It's a big ask, but we really need help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Mr. Rob Morris.
Good evening. Tonight, I see if anybody could answer why the Stewart and Clover contract wasn't up for discussion this time. So to add to that, I brought the contract for the Tecumseh city attorney. And it's a normal contract where it's a $38,000 a year base salary for all the normal day-to-day stuff that you do for a city. And then it's $325 an hour for anything outside of the day-to-day activities. And I think the $325 is a little high, but the $38,000, that's obviously part-time because the city attorney at Tecumseh is also our municipal judge right over here. So with this, if you adjust Tecumseh for Shawnee, it's roughly times 5 difference. There's around 6,000-ish people in Tecumseh. There's around a little over 30,000-ish people in Shawnee. So when you adjust that, and then you adjust the $38,000 for the part-time, it comes up to $190,000. Now in 2023, when I did the last check, we were on tap, and this was only for 6 months. We were on tap, was right around 135, I think. We were on tap between $270,000 and $300,000 to pay Stewart and Clover for 1 year, because they get to write their own check. Just like when they sued me in court. Instead of getting in there and getting the job done, he got to drag it out for 4.5 hours and made over $1,000 that should have taken 30 minutes. That's a problem. This is a real contract that says, hey, you do all the basic stuff for a base salary. If we ask you to do anything different, there's where that $325, and I think maybe $200, $250 is probably fair. But this is what needs to be talked about. So I'd love if someone can explain why that wasn't on the agenda and why it is that apparently either maybe it slipped everybody's mind or y'all don't care. Because this is a way to save money and also be able to hold people accountable that they can't just take all of our tax dollars with no repercussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Mrs. Teresa Cody.
Mayor, Commission, I appreciate you doing the proclamation for the small businesses this evening. It's long overdue. I don't remember that ever happened in the 33 years I've been in business that we've been recognized. As of March this year, I've been in business in downtown Shawnee for 33 years. I bring customers from everywhere, and they're large customers many times, and they're businesses. They come to do business with me in Shawnee, Oklahoma. So I just want you to continue to reach out to small businesses and see what their needs are. It's not money. We just need support. We need customers. We need you to continue to support Shawnee in the way that you do. And let's work together to solve some of the issues so that our name is looked at a lot differently than what it has been the last few years. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mrs. Denoto Martin.
First, Mayor and Commissioners, what you have in front of you that I provided is proof from Shawnee, as well as the Shawnee Police Department, that no one has hit the kayak launch in 4 years. No one has had property claims from hitting that launch. No one has impaled themselves or perished from going a max speed of 5 miles an hour. If they have hit it, as some sitting behind me have claimed in the past, they're too embarrassed to say. And if they are, they should be. As an insurance professional, I'd ask that you go ahead and turn over your license as well. Apparently, you're the problem, not the kayak launch. No accidents over 4 Memorial Days, 4 4th of Julys, 4 Labor Days, 12 major boating holidays, not to mention the other 1,507 days it's been sitting there. To answer the question from last month, why chance it? There's 1,507 reasons to take that chance. It's been sitting there ever since it stood the test of time. Also last month it was asked, what is the cheapest way we could make this accessible kayak park accessible? The answer was $60,000, which we knew a long time ago. One commissioner said, that sounds a whole lot less than $344. It does, doesn't it? We know this number. Common sense told us this number was not going to be appropriate over time. Spending only $60,000 will require everyone in this room in our community to carry or drag their kayak no less than 68 yards to that adaptive kayak launch. Imagine yourself in a wheelchair or any ability carrying a kayak 68 yards. Don't the caregivers go through enough as well? How about the property damage to those kayaks dragging it that far? I'm not sure what the word is to describe by asking what the cheapest way to help people with accessibility is, other than inhumane, disrespectful, self-righteous. I have some other words I will not say. If there is no appropriate bathroom provided, which the $60,000 does not include, which one of you commissioners wants to say, yes ma'am, bring your daughter to our adaptive kayaking activities, but you're still gonna have to change her diaper in the back of your van like you do every day because there is not appropriate restroom access. Who's gonna sign up for that? We did know about all your needs though, because we were warned about that for 4 years, but we chose not to consider them. We considered our very capable checkbook that's already in the budget, but we chose to pay attention to those who are able-bodied. They mean more to us. If there is no road to drop off our friends in wheelchairs, our grandmas with bad knees, our grandpas with a bum shoulder, or goodness, of the middle-aged 5-foot woman standing in front of you with grandkids, if we can't drop off our heavy equipment, then you spent $60,000 for nothing. It will no longer be accessible at that point. It will be a mockery. Shawnee will be simply remembered as a city who did things halfway and the hateful way for people with disabilities, while watching OKC and Tulsa get it right. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for years with people with disabilities.
Thank you. Next up is Miss Cindy Berger.
Hello, y'all. I just wanted to make a quick mention of I agree that Project SAFE is a really important thing for our community. However, again, it's utilizing community development block grant funds, which are meant for people that already own their houses and live here in the community and need significant repairs to their homes. So I don't understand how that is helpful to homeless services when all that's doing is causing people that already own their own homes to be on the verge of homelessness themselves. So I also wanted to bring up the Youth and Family Resource Center contract because this is something I have done a significant amount of research on. I did research and I wanted to know from 2019 to 2024, as of August when I pulled this, how much money did we pay to Youth and Family Resource Center for their services each year. Starting in 29 for the entire year. $348.25, 2020, $269.50, 21, $194.25, 22, $49, 23, $820, and 40 cents. Oh, my child, by the way, was one of those that got a ticket at school for possession of marijuana, and I'm not sure how that's a citable offense in a city. But anyway, 24, there was $280 as of August. So at school, I wanted to know how many police tickets were written at the middle school and at the high school for those same years for assault and battery and for drug possession. Assault and battery at the middle school from the year of 2019 to 2020, it was 0, 0, 1, 3, and then 2 last year. For possession of drugs at the middle school, again, I'm reminded this is just the middle school. 0 for 2019 school year, 0 for 2020, 0, and then 22 to 23, 4, 23 to 24, 3. And then the high school, same thing, starting in 2019, 0 tickets, 2020, 0 tickets, 21, 1 ticket, 22, 1 ticket, 23, 0 tickets. So we had more assault and batteries at the middle school than we have the high school. And then high school possession of drugs, it went from 1 ticket to 2 to 0, 22 to 23 school year, 11, last year 20. So when I come up here and I tell you that our school resource officer program is not working and our kids are not safe at school, I don't just say that because I'm being funny or I got mad because my daughter got a ticket. No, kids have to have consequences and so do adults. And when adults are not getting consequences, this is what happens. We have schools that are not safe and people that are employed by the city on the webpage, truancy officers, that do not do anything with truancy. I am told they are not truancy officers, they are there to act as an officer. So if that's true, do these citations have their child read their Miranda rights before the police even talk to them? Because mine didn't.
Thank you. Okay, we are on to item number 4, consider approval of consent agenda. And so do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Motion carries 7-0 on item number 5, presentation of Pet of the Month by Animal Control. There we go.
Hi,
Hello.
this is Nesquik. She is a 2-year-old shepherd mix. Can you give her a sec? She wants to meet everybody. She's very
sure.
friendly. No. Anyway, she is available for adoption. She gets along with everybody, including dogs. Our adoption fee for her is $10. And we are open 8 to 4 for adoptions.
Okay, very good. Any questions up here on the pet? You gotta stay there. So we've got proclamations coming your way.
So our first proclamation is National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. Bumps on you guys. Read part of here. Whereas as part of the National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week, the City of Shawnee is proud to recognize and honor the invaluable contributions of our dedicated animal control officers and volunteers. Now, therefore, I, Eric Stevens, Mayor of the City of Shawnee, Oklahoma, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 to be National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. All right. Thank you guys so much. Get a picture there.
I don't want to help her now.
This way, 1, 2.
That's yours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Now, we have National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Hi. Good to see you. I'm going to read this one out. National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Whereas since 1981, the second week of April has been dedicated to honoring telecommunications personnel in the public safety community who commit their lives to serving the public. Now therefore, I, Eric Stevens, Mayor of the City of Shawnee, Oklahoma, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 to be National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chrissy, all right? So we'll take a picture and I'm going to tell a story about Chrissy that quick. It's a good one. So right after I met Chrissy at PD, I was sitting in a restaurant in Macomb, Oklahoma. So I was bragging on our PD and our 911 systems, and I was talking about this young lady I met named Chrissy. And these folks sitting on the table next to me, boy, their ears perked up. Like, okay. So I went on a little farther, and he said, so tell us more about Chrissy. I said, well, she does an awesome job. She knows what she's doing. She's a great person. They said, well, we're kind of fond of her too. That's our niece. So you never know who you're going to be talking about. So.
Still trying to figure out which one it was.
I didn't get her name. I can describe it. Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Next one is National Small Business Week, which for me, being a small business owner, this really hits home for me. And like Ms. Crowe said, small business is the backbone of America, not just Oklahoma, but Shawnee as well. Without small business, we wouldn't be anywhere, anything. As small business owners, and we have some on our city council as well, we can all say it's not always a bed of roses. Careful what you wish for. You don't always get a paycheck. You have to make sure all the bills are paid, all your suppliers are paid, your utilities, your insurance, property tax, and most important, salary of your employees. Because you're not only taking care of your employee, you're taking care of their family as well. You're providing a living for their family as well. So with that, sure you guys want to come up? Come on, both of you.
Did we invite other small businesses during the?
Yeah, any other small business owners in the crowd, come on up.
Jeez, I know that. We have a few up here.
You gotta go too, Mike.
I know, right? I'm sure. I like it, yeah.
Read this out right quick. City of Shawnee, Oklahoma's proclamation National Small Business Week. Whereas National Small Business Week is celebrated annually during the first week of May, recognizing the invaluable contributions of small businesses and their profound impact on communities across the nation. This year, the celebration will take place from May 4th through May 10th. And whereas small businesses, which constitute 99% of all U.S. businesses, there's that backbone I'm talking about, embody the American dream and have significantly shaped the nation's economy since its founding. And whereas National Small Business Week was established in 1963 by President John F. Kennedy, honors entrepreneurs and small business owners, highlighting their dedication, innovation, and the essential support they provide to economic growth sustainability. And whereas small business owners are the fabric of our economy, fueling innovation, creating jobs, and shaping the unique character of our community. And whereas the entrepreneurs and small business owners of Shawnee have demonstrated remarkable resilience and dedication, overcoming challenges and continuing to strengthen our local economy. And whereas the City of Shawnee proudly acknowledges the vital role of small businesses and reaffirms its commitment to fostering an environment where they can thrive. And whereas the City of Shawnee encourages all residents to support our local businesses, shop locally, and join in celebrating the hard work, vision, and perseverance of our small business community. Now therefore, I, Eric Stevens, Mayor of the City of Shawnee, Oklahoma, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim May 4th through 10th, 2025 as National Small Business Week. I think we should give everybody up here a hand. We'll start on Commissioner O'Neill. Tell us a little bit about your business, how long you've been in Shawnee?
I've been in business for 19 years, but I work for downtown, been downtown for 19 years. So it's some of our friends down there.
Okay. Great.
I've been in Shawnee for 42 years, and I've been a business owner for 15, and I own 4 different small businesses throughout the city. I've been self-employed for 10.
I'm Martin. Sorry, Denal Martin with Shelter Insurance. I've been a small business owner for almost 9 years, but in the community almost 25 to 30. I've lost count.
So you got a side gig you want to tell us
I
about?
don't have a
All
side
right. Well,
Been in Shawnee since 2005. I'm a solopreneur, and I prove it, and I want to prove it is.
all right. Teresa?
I'm Teresa Taylor, I'm Common Threads Embroidery on Main Street in Shawnee, been there 33 years this year.
Claudia Crow, my husband Ricky and I own Crow's Market on Main. We've been in downtown Shawnee for 25 years, and we have been providing our community with safe, which is really important anymore, vegetables and fruits for 38 years. This summer, I am going to try to host a lot of farm tours as we are losing that connection between what we put in front of us and the people who actually brought it to.
Mark?
Been here since 1958. Dealer here was at Pan Am and Yamaha since 1984. And we've had 3 different locations in town, one on Main Street, and we moved to Independence, and we're out on Harrison.
Nice. And I've been here over 50 years. I've been a plumber for over 35 of those years. And retired, thank you very much.
You are not retired.
For plumbing, I am, sort of. Also have a small business, rental properties, and owned the Quality Auto Car Wash for about 5 years and ran that, plumbed everything out there. That's how I got to know the guy, and sold that and retired again. And then ran for mayor. Woo-hoo. Once again, I'd like to thank all of our small business owners. We truly are, y'all truly are the backbone of the country and keep everything running. Thank you very much.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are close. Yep. Thanks, ma'am.
I'm gonna need new wheels.
Okay, on to item number 7. Consideration of a resolution of the City of Shawnee to purchase an E1 rescue pumper truck utilizing Sourcewell contract E1 number 113021-RVG. Calling Chief Gronick, he's already there.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening.
Within the alignment of the City of Shawnee's fiscal year 25 through 29 CIP, the Suppression Division of the Shawnee Fire Department is scheduled to receive a replacement for Engine 3. This purchase is intended to retire an aging apparatus, thereby reducing out-of-service time due to mechanical issues and enhancing the reliability and efficiency of our emergency response operations. While the engine replacement was originally slated for fiscal year 2026, an opportunity has now emerged to accelerate the acquisition. Advancing the purchase would allow the department to address current operational challenges sooner than anticipated and secure more favorable pricing and delivery. The financial impact for this expense is $733,375, and staff recommends this approval.
Okay.
How much are we saving?
It's a savings of almost $300,000 for what was budgeted.
What was budgeted
Yes,
originally?
and that's about just a little over $100,000 savings in a truck that we ordered in 2022 that we will not receive until next year. We will receive this truck within 60 days.
Wow.
And this is the different, because Mark and I talked about, these are what stops house fires, is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you kind of elaborate a little bit on that, like what the difference is between like a grass rig and what we're
Absolutely.
investing in here? This is life-saving and
Yes.
property saving.
I mean, as people can see, we have grass rigs that we use on grass fires, but you don't stop a big fire without big trucks and a lot of water. And that's the difference ultimately. And keeping this fleet going is a challenge, and this will be a great expense for the city of Shawnee.
Any other questions? Get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second. Oh, sorry. Whoever, whichever.
Tie?
Actually, it's fine.
Then I'll call on Joe to read the resolution title, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A resolution of the City of Shawnee approving the purchase of an E1 rescue pumper truck from the Baker Fire Equipment Incorporated under the cooperative purchasing agreement with Sourcewell.
Okay. And we'll call the vote. Item carries 7-0. All right, item number 8, consideration of a contract between Project Safe and the City of Shawnee for the administration of a transitional housing program for Shawnee Urban Renewal Authority, property located at 425 South Chapman, Shawnee, Oklahoma. Calling Ryan Harkins, Community Development Director.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. As noted, this is a contract to use a CDBG-owned, SHURA-owned dwelling unit for transitional housing purposes through Project Safe. They would do all the screening and serve as the tenant on our behalf, but the landlord, and do all of the case management, things like that associated with that programming. This is a one-year contract, can be renewed. It can also be pulled out at any time if there's any reason either party decides we need to go in a different direction. Similar to what we brought forward last month for 2 other dwelling units, and similar to what we have structured with COCA currently. Renee is here from Project Safety if you have specific questions for them. Staff's recommendation is approval of the item, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions? Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Call the vote. Item carries 7-0. Item number 9, presentation of fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed budget. We'll call Ms. Kimberly Smith, Finance Director.
Good evening. So tonight I'm just going to go over a few changes that we made that were different from this year, from last year. We requested a 1% decrease in the department's budget. Some departments were able to do that, some departments weren't. We identified efficiencies in the departments that helped with the budget. We did self-performing where previously we had contracted services. We did adjusting incentives to aid in employee retention. And we had to absorb a 9% increase in health insurance. And one big difference that you'll notice under the SMA was the central disposal is now under the utility billing and not under the public works. So you'll kind of see that difference when you look at it from previous year, from last year to this year. And I'll answer any questions.
Any budget questions, guys?
I appreciate you having it ready. I think this is the earliest we've seen it. Gives us a lot of time to look at it. And we're seeing it now. Am I correct that we'll follow that, the budget hearing in May, passage in June?
Correct.
Implementation in July?
Correct.
And it looks to me like we're keeping reserve funds, but that's an important thing to me. We saw how that helps with the tornadoes, so can you confirm my first impressions that the reserve funds are in there?
Yes.
Thank you.
I also appreciate you all getting this all together this early. It'll give us some time because I like numbers, but this is a lot to absorb in like
Yes,
3
it
days.
is.
But I spent probably 2 hours on it. I've just scratched the surface, but thank you guys for getting it all put together that quick. And I know there's a lot of work, all the department heads and everybody had to get together.
Yes.
I'm sure you all had a lot of meetings.
Yes.
So.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, ma'am. Item number 10, discussion and consideration of the adaptive kayak dock at Lake Number 2. Calling Joe Vondren for staff report.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. This item's been placed on the agenda this month as a follow-up action to last month's administrative report regarding the kayak launch. Staff respectfully requests direction from the Commission in the form of a motion this evening. And at this point, I'd be happy to review any of the options that were previously discussed or answer any questions that the Commission may have.
Any kayak questions?
Can we pull up the picture of where it's at now?
I'm sorry?
Can we pull up the picture of where it's at now?
I didn't prepare that.
Oh, sorry.
I can pull it up on my computer.
I think Ryan, can you assist? Maybe.
That's a picture you're after? Okay. Any questions, discussions, motions?
Maybe we've been kicking this down the road for 4 years. time to do something. Which I guess is the city, I guess Seth had already put everything together as far as the engineering part and the parking lot, and we'd already budgeted for all this.
We put together a design package, it's been a while back now, a year or so ago. Never had, we had a project in the CIP, it was never fully funded. I think we had $260,000 in the CIP for this project, but the engineer's estimate was north of 300,000. I think it was 340-ish. We've talked about it several times, but so it's partially funded, but never fully funded. But yes, we did have a design package put together at one point in time.
So back in '22 when we did it versus now, how much has the construction cost gone up?
I redid the estimate, how long ago was that when we redid the estimate? Not too long ago. It went up, but I think it was still in the 300s. So I don't recall off the top of my head how much it went up from when we initially did it. The project hasn't ever been fully funded, so I don't know how much it's increased over the last couple of years.
Which they talked about, I mean, Donato talked about the $60,000 just finish the, I mean, what do we need to do to make it, not the Taj Mahal, but functional and ADA compliant? Is that the $300,000, or has that got some fluff in it?
I mean, the $300,000 definitely has some elements that's not solely ADA compliance, right? The full design, if you want to call it that, included a cul-de-sac style turnaround, a drop-off courtyard, several sidewalks. It included an area for a bathroom. It had parking stalls for both trailered and non-trailered vehicles, as well as ADA stalls, obviously. Hard surface all the way in. There was stuff beyond just minimum ADA compliance. And I think the $60,000 option that we threw out last meeting was really just a parking stall, a gourd striped area, and a compliant sidewalk and attachment to the existing location. And I know at some point last meeting we also threw out the option of relocating the dock to another location. So I think staff is just looking for some direction on what you guys seek.
Okay. I think there are three things in this process that are important to me. I just tried to write them down real quickly. The dock's in the water. We honor our donor intent. It's accessible and it's ADA compliant. I mean, those are the things that are important to me. I mean, we need as many facilities we can get, but those are the three things we got to get operational so that we can grow around it, to me. So.
With that, I think I'd like to move to direct staff to take actions necessary to relocate the adaptive kayak launch to, from its current location to the fishing dock at Lake 2, and all the necessary actions required to do that to make it compliant with ADA standards and accessible for ADA individuals.
You made a motion?
Yep.
A second.
So we have a motion and a second to move the dock from the current location in the canal to the fishing dock in the same lake.
Correct.
Okay. So then I guess we should hold a vote at this point, right?
I did.
Motion carries 6-1. On to item number 11, acknowledge monthly sales tax and budget reports. Once again, we call on Ms. Kimberly Smith.
The sales tax for April totaled $2,447,876.34, which includes $4,053.93 in interest. This revenue is distributed across 8 funds. The receipts in April are from estimated March sales and final sales figures in February. April 2025 collections had a 3.06% decrease over April of last year. When comparing collections to the conservative budget projections for April, we are 3.88% below projections for the month and 0.58% above collections year to date. Use tax for April totaled $368,552.63, which is 18.31% decrease projected collections for the month. When you combine the use tax and the general fund portion of the sales tax, the general fund is currently $209,035 below budget projections.
Okay. Any questions on April collections for Kimberly? How are we kind of comparing to our peer cities? We're kind of all in the same boat as far
They were
as...
all kind of down also, so we're kind of staying in the same strategic with them.
Okay.
It's like when they go up, we go up. When they go down, we go down.
Okay. All right. Any more questions for Kimberly? Okay. On to item number 12, administrative report, presentation of the quarterly 2018 half-cent sales tax report. And Kimberly's not going anywhere.
Okay. Just a little background. The 2018 sales tax election passed on June 26, 2018, and added a half cent to existing sales tax. The rate went into effect on October 1st, 2018, and is set to expire on September 30th, 2028. The special tax is allocated for capital improvements with 25% for public safety, 25% for streets and roads, and the remaining 50% for parks and public facilities. Since inception of the sales tax, we have collected $24.2 million in revenue through the March of 25 collections. And we have invested $25.1 million into community projects through March 25th, with $3.8 million spent in fiscal year 24. In fiscal year 25, we've spent $2.9 million. In the last 3 months, the notable investments have included $189,000 for the fire station number 3 remodel and $23,000 for the expo enhancements remodel. As stated previously, this ordinance approving the election of the 2018 half-cent sales tax allocated the funds to specific projects by percentage. The 25% to public safety, 25% to streets and roads, and 50% to parks and public facilities. Every quarter, I update the new allocation column to reflect actual sales tax columns for this category of public safety, where the majority of the projects are complete. Excuse me. The only update is to the Fire Station 3 remodel, where the design is still well underway. Continuing with streets and roads allocation, much like the public safety allocations, this project category is also increased in allocation amount due to new revenue projections, and the new allocation is updated quarterly based on the actual collections. For the parks and public facilities, the Parks Master Plan project is complete, as well as all 4 of the sidewalk projects. There are no immediate major plans for the Expo Center, as the focus remains on repair projects that were by the April 19, 2023 storm event. On the Santa Fe Depot project is well underway. Phase 1 has been completed. Small projects underway at the library to include the new AVAC units and almost complete remodel to the restroom. And lastly, the senior center roofing projects is essentially complete. And that's it. Anybody has any questions?
Questions for Kim? All right. Thank you. Item 12B, vacant structure registration overview. Joe Vondran, give staff, or administrative report, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. We bring this before you this evening as kind of an overview of potential action that this body could take with regard to vacant structures within the city of Shawnee, particularly being focused on the downtown district. This is brought about through really a significant period of time that staff has researched various mechanisms by which to address criminal activity, homelessness, as well as spur economic development within not only the downtown region, but other areas of the community. And so we've got a brief slide deck to walk through. I'll try and be respectful of time. We wanted to get this before you in a meaningful way before we began drafting anything that you would take action on. So, all right, so the issues with the vacant structures that are attempted to be addressed through this type of registration ordinance is the blight that can be created, unfavorable aesthetics. They discourage economic growth. If we have large swaths of undeveloped vacant buildings, they can discourage economic growth. They diminish property values for those properties around them. And as we saw, unfortunately, last week, they create a fire hazard, particularly when homeless activity is able to breach those structures that are vacant and no one knows about it. We have an increase in crime. Obviously, there's, don't know, but there's potential for arson, there's potential for drug use, obviously breaking and entering, and an increase in homeless activity in areas where you have a concentration of vacant structures because there is obviously shelter that they can seek out. And so looking at that and looking for ways to curtail those negative behaviors and encourage more positive growth and a reduction in those types of activities, many communities across the country have resorted to a vacant structure ordinance, which requires registration. Now, these vary wildly with regard to what they actually entail, but we've conducted an overview of some 20 different versions of the ordinance and have want to bring before you tonight 9 key points that we think are important for the commission to consider when addressing the potential of a vacant structure ordinance. And so looking at those, really what it boils down to is 3 categories: registration, tracking, and penalties. And so the 9 points that we're wanting to emphasize is an enforced registration of vacant buildings through interagency coordination. What that means, and where you see success in other municipalities across the country, is where police have the ability to put a structure on a vacant structure registry that would then trigger communication with the property owner. That's the same for fire, that's the same for code enforcement. So within the city of Shawnee, we would have multiple agencies that have the ability to identify and then take action with regard to vacant structures, thereby capturing a larger number of them, but also increasing the cooperation between those agencies with regard thereto, because obviously fire is concerned about slightly different things than police and code enforcement, but all of them are working towards the same goal of safety first and foremost. Number 2, required annual inspection of vacant buildings. This is something in our survey that has been successful in other municipalities, and I think is important for the commission to consider because it is an increased administrative cost. Obviously, that's workload that would go to staff, but it seems to be very effective in not only maintaining the registry and compliance, but also in encouraging these property owners to come up with plans to either develop or sell or secure the property and eliminate those issues that are attempting to be addressed by the ordinance. The third one is to maintain a registry of the vacant buildings. This can be accomplished in a number of ways, but typically it's done through a licensure process, whereby once a vacant building is identified, the property owner is notified that they have to identify and register the vacant building. And once it is on a registry and is licensed, there's an annual fee associated with that. Some towns and cities have chosen to have that fee go up each successive year that a property remains on the vacant structure list. Obviously as an incentive to have that property developed, sold, or otherwise secured to avoid the issues that we addressed in the first slide. Even when they remain vacant, many municipalities have included minimum aesthetic requirements within their code as part of this ordinance structure that require it not only to be secured, but particularly in instances where it is in a major commercial corridor, such as a downtown, that it have minimum aesthetic requirements with regard to the commerce-facing sides of the building, the fascia, all being uniform, not having boarded up buildings that are simply secured, but having glass fronts, things like that. So that is something that I think that the commission would need to consider. Obviously, that would be an expense to the property owner. That could be difficult for a non-revenue producing structure, but seems to be effective in other municipalities. The other thing that comes up over and over again in our survey is taking a period of time to educate and negotiate with property owners to provide an improvement plan before assessing any penalties or fees, taking action, or even requiring registration. Obviously, this would be something very new for the city of Shawnee. It's been new in other places, and it seems like there's much more success with what the intended outcome is, which is to develop these areas, to remove blight, to increase property value, to create a safer environment for those that are in the area by working with the property owners, providing a period of education, and allowing those plans to be developed through collaboration between the city and the property owners, which seems to be a more effective and quicker implementation, and so we're recommending that that be looked at very carefully. Another issue is absentee ownership, where we have out-of-state or out-of-town property owners, and so one of the things that has been very successful in other municipalities is a requirement under a similar ordinance to have a local agent appointed, so that there is somebody that police, fire, code enforcement, or even adjacent property owners can immediately notify in the instance of, hopefully not a tragic event, but it could be as simple as, you know, maybe a water leak or something like that. But to have somebody who's local that can respond very quickly, make decisions, and authorize law enforcement and fire, code enforcement to take necessary actions for public safety. The seventh point we wanted to raise is a penalty and registration renewal fees should be progressive and increase over time. Again, this really goes hand in hand with number 5 and a period of education, to where upon implementation it doesn't appear that there is a great deal of success to have onerous or very high registration fees or fines associated with it, but rather to allow property owners the opportunity to address the condition of their own property in their own time within reason, and then providing incentive by allowing those fees to escalate over time when reasonable. Number 8, owners need to provide proof of liability insurance upon registration. I think the reasons for this are somewhat self-evident, but in the event we have vacant structures that are not properly insured, particularly in a downtown corridor such as our own, where you have shared roofs, party walls, very close proximity and setbacks, it's important for the safety and security of those other property owners within that commercial district to be able to know that there is proper insurance with their neighbors. And number 9 is a phase-in implementation of the ordinance. And not only a temporal phase-in or a timing phase-in, but also a geographic phase-in. And this is a difficult consideration, I think, for the commission and staff has begun thinking about, but to take in too large of an area would be too much of an administrative task for current staffing levels at the city. And so we need to be very targeted and smart with how we go forward with this, if this body decides to go forward with this, to make sure we simply don't bite off more than we can chew. And then geographically, I think that targeted areas, particularly to work out the kinks, because candidly, that's one of the things as you read through white papers and as you even talk to some of these municipalities that have gone through this, they learned a lot of lessons. They've shared those lessons, but there were tweaks and changes along the way to make it work. And so I do think it will be a longer term process, but starting small and incubating the idea to work out the kinks is going to be a good procedure if in fact this is the direction that the commission chooses to go. From a timeline perspective, and this is certainly very flexible and at the will of the commission, but we wanted to bring this before you, and assuming that there is interest in moving forward, have a draft ordinance ready for your consideration at next month's meeting. And then looking at an education period, and again, these are just suggestions that can be adjusted by the commission, but having an education period whereby once a geographic area is defined, those property owners would receive notice and education with regard to what expectations will be, what they can do in the interim to fix any issues that they're aware of to avoid this, and then looking at implementation or an effective date no earlier than September 1st. But again, those timelines, that's just to give an idea of taking those 9 bullet points and kind of suggesting a runway that would give an opportunity for education, negotiation, and potential fixes, particularly of small, easy issues, both to lessen the burden on staff, but also to lessen the burden on the property owner. And with that, I would be happy to answer any questions that the commission may have.
Would that affect vacant land at all, or is it just structures?
I'm sorry.
Would it affect vacant land at all, or would it just be structures?
From a minimum aesthetic standpoint, some of the model ordinances that we've looked at, and certainly something that could be included, would include vacant land from that standpoint. Really, from a code enforcement, outside of tall grass and weeds, there wouldn't be much there.
How long do you think it would take to identify, if you look at a Main Street area, the vacant structures? Would that take weeks or months or days?
Sure. So different municipalities approach that in different ways. Some of them have taken small geographic areas to start with and then done a sweep of those areas, implemented annual inspections, and then been systematic in how they do that, which identifies it. So the annual inspections start as every property within that district, and then the follow-up is only those that have been determined to be vacant. Others just allow the interagency cooperation to where if there's a fire call and the fire department identifies one, then it goes on the list. If PD is called or code enforcement, then they just kind of accumulate the list within that region as, I guess organically would be the best way to say that, as issues arise. Those are kind of the two ends of the spectrum that we've seen in our survey, but we could craft anything in between or go to those levels. I think, again, it just really depends, to be a little more direct, on the geographic area. So if we're taking 2 city blocks, we ought to be able to do it relatively quickly. If we're taking a square mile, it might take a while.
And so will the permit be based just by structure or value of structure or square footage, or is that still kind of?
Different cities have done it differently, but I will say the overwhelming majority have a commercial structure regardless of size, have a residential structure regardless of size. The residential licensing fee tends to be less than the commercial in the ones we've looked at, although that's not set in stone. But yeah, it tends to be just if it's a commercial structure regardless of size, it's the license fee, registration is X, the annual fee for year 1 is this, year 2 is this, year 3 is this.
So fee-wise, and the other cities that are doing it, what kind of fee are they charging?
Commissioner
From
Stewart,
here
some of them are, pretty de minimis. I would almost say like an annoyance, a reminder, hey, you probably ought to do something. Some of them are downright draconian.
Try to get them off high center.
Right. So again, that would be an important decision that this commission would have to weigh. My 2 cents for what it's worth, and I think where staff would come down, is that we would, as usual, probably fall somewhere in the middle. Not wanting to, particularly at an early phase, have it be punitive in any way. It needs to reflect the administrative cost that goes into ensuring the safety of those properties. And so, yes, that will likely increase over time, but yeah, that one cuts a wide swath for sure.
Any other questions on this one? All right. Thank you, Joe. Item number 13, new business. Any matter not known or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the posting of the agenda. Mr. Interim Manager. Okay. Number 14, Commissioners' comments. Mr. Matthews.
Just a few things. First of all, I want to congratulate the Shawnee swim team and Pleasant Grove basketball team. That was fun to honor them. I couldn't help but notice both of those were our girls' teams. So fellas, we got to step it up. 2 years ago, April 19th, obviously we know our community was hit by a tornado that devastated many lives and businesses. I just want to take just a minute to say I think as a community we should be proud of where we've come. We're still not all the way back, but from city staff, emergency management, state, county, local, all the officials that have worked on that, we're thankful. Volunteers, community people that have, help their neighbors. That's what we do, and I don't ever hope our community never goes through it again. But proud of the resilience everyone has shown. Proud of our fire department. Obviously, when everybody knows about the fire downtown a couple of days ago, to watch them work was a you wanted to be safe and do it, but to watch them work was inspiring. Sales tax numbers, I kind of think when we look at how it's affected all the communities, if you remember, April numbers reflect February collections. We had some really bad weather in February, so it's certainly something to keep an eye on, but the fact that it was kind of universal makes me just wonder a little bit. Again, I want to compliment staff on the budget, particularly when looking at the sales tax numbers. I think it's important that citizens hear what Kimberly said. They've asked departments for a 1% decrease, so we're asking, and they're looking for efficiencies, and so I'm thankful to our leadership team that is looking to be good stewards of the resources that we have. And then one thing that's, last thing for me, I've talked with Interim City Manager Simpson about this, and I know he's going to work with some folks on it. I think we've got to do something to improve the signage out at 177 in the construction zone. We just continue to have accident after accident. We've had a fatality accident. The signage there, to me, just isn't sufficient, particularly if you're coming eastbound from Oklahoma City. Many times it's backed up beyond where the signage starts. And Oklahoma City employs an awful lot of people here in this community make that commute, and making that commute as safely as possible. It's a real danger, and just again this weekend, I think there's another big accident, and just time after it stops up so fast. And I know we should all be paying perfect attention and watching for it, but 80 to 0 or 70 to 0, sorry, 80 is over the speed limit, but 70 to 0 is real fast, and so I'm hoping that our leadership team here can make some contacts up at ODOT to, in Oklahoma City, if there's a one-lane closure, they put a highway patrolman on it and flashing lights and all, and we deserve that same kind of safety for our citizens. So anyway, kind of a burn in my saddle, but a lot of people that we all love make that drive every day, and we wanted to be able to do it safely. So that's all I got.
I definitely want to emphasize the small business owner, not just because I am one. I come from a family of small business owners. My mom actually had a jewelry store here in town for many years, but the impact that small businesses have on our local tax dollars, which is what funds are the good things in our city, is tremendous. I mean, you've got local people spending their local dollars, and because we are so aware of how much that impacts our city, we spend locally first before we go outside of the city. So support your local businesses, the ones that were hit by the tornado. If you've ever worked at a place a long time or owned your own business, you know how long it takes to get people into a habit, but to get them out of that habit, boom. That tornado overnight changed every single one of my customers' habits. And it did the same for any other business that was impacted by it. We still, Valor Physical Therapy, I know that they're rebuilding, but they had to completely relocate to just an entirely different part of town. So getting their customers back is gonna be so difficult. We need our city supporting, talk about it. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your parents, tell your daughters, whoever. Tell everybody. If you know a business that's reopened, the YMCA is back open, Eric's Pharmacy is back open, and I think they're gonna open their other I mean, we're getting there, but it's gonna take time to get people back in the habit. And all of those places employ people at high wages in this town. So that's very important. We need those places back. We're so glad to have them back. Support them, talk about them, pump them up, tell them you missed them. It's great. So, yeah, just yay, small business.
I agree. Thank you for the small business. It is so crucial. I think that the presentation about vacant buildings, that could really help downtown businesses, small businesses immensely. Next month in May is National Bike Month. We heard Principal Epperly of Jefferson School say that we're going to do a bike bus, something I'm very excited about. We're all going to meet together. All the parents block the intersection so that it's safe for kids to ride their bikes right down through the middle of the street on their way to school. It's a lot of fun. If you've never seen it, just go on YouTube, watch one. They do them in Edmond once a month at some of the schools. So it's going to be pretty neat. They're going to do they're going to have what is it, that all the kids are getting together in a gymnasium. Anyway, there's going to be a presentation to the kids to kind of teach them about bike safety and make sure they take their helmets and you know, that we do the safe and fun. Also, there's going to be a lot of walkability studies going on around town over the next 2 to 3 months, where you could walk in your neighborhoods and there's going to be an audit as to where there's safe crossings or people parking on sidewalks and things like this, where we're going to collect all this data. The more people that do it, the better data we get. So I kind of want to encourage people to reach out. You can look on Facebook or call me, and I'll get you kind of with somebody in your neighborhood that you can go through a walkability study. So, yep, that's pretty much it for me.
Well, y'all went on forever and ever, so I agree with the three of you. Good job.
Makes our job easier over here.
It gets easier the farther you get.
We're starting over there next time.
I want to say I appreciate how early the budget got to us, you know, and I called the city manager and we kind of had a conversation this morning on some of the stuff on it. And, you know, the concern is revenue coming in and, you know, on my side, you know, our business, we look at quarterly more so than monthly, just because weather and different factors figure into the equation to where the knee jerk, yeah, it's off 2 or 3% this month, but you may be up 5% next month. So, I mean, we're off almost, well, less than 1% for the year, you know, so you know, we haven't grown like we thought we would, but, you know, it's flat. The economy, you know, is still really strong, but everybody is apprehensive just with what's going on. 401ks are getting just killed. You know, so I think the uncertainty is, you know, with us, you know, you're making decisions 6-8 months out what we're doing, and the same thing y'all are doing. You know, you tend to be a little conservative. I mean, you have to be, just that what if. But we don't do some kind of knee-jerk reaction that affects everybody at this point. Swim team, pretty amazing what they've done with limited resources. You got to figure they lost their swimming pool they trained in for 2 years with the Y. Went to different schools to do it, so it's pretty amazing they've been able to, what, the 3-peat, isn't it?
Yep,
4-peat, you know, so, you know, the coaches have done a tremendous job with the kids, and the dedication of the kids definitely has been good. Basketball, same thing, but the swim team, you know, has overcame a lot of stuff. That's about all I got.
Normally I just say it's all good, but actually I appreciate Commissioner Matthews for mentioning the I-40 corridor through 177. I work in Midwest City, and make that drive along there every day. And I agree, it needs to be looked at because whatever we can do to increase safety is going to be a benefit to our community. Well, I've gone from 70 to 0 very quickly, as far out as yes, as far out as the Grand. And you know, people, you know, from what I can tell, because every once in a while you see a couple of new cars, but you get to where you do the drive every day, you can kind of see the same people every day. So the people who are, you know, just passing through on their way to somewhere else, I feel like they need that opportunity to have a safe corridor, but then also for our citizens too who travel that every day like I do. Commissioner O'Neill, you mentioned walkability studies. There's going to be one in Ward 6 next, I don't know what day of the week it is, the 29th of April. It's going to be at 5 p.m. It starts at Living Word Church. Don't quote me on the address. I won't say it because I don't actually know where it's at yet. It'll be a 2-mile walk. Okay, I'm getting the head nod. 2-mile walk. I'll be interested myself to see what the walkability is of that area because, you know, we have the airport track, we have the MacArthur sidewalks, but I watch OBU athletes that train up and down that area, and after a certain point, they stop using those tracks and sidewalks. So watching people travel in through the expo or you know, our schools that are in that area, I'm happy to see that the walkability makes it our way. I appreciate you mentioning that. And I don't have much else to say after that.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. It's been 2 years since the tornado. We're not all the way back, but we're starting to roll quicker and quicker every week. It's still gonna be a long process. It might be another couple of years before everything is completely done, but we're on the correct road, I think. I also want to thank, once again, don't want to sound like a broken record, but all the small business owners. Please, please, please shop local. You're helping support local families, kids, their activities. All these wonderful girl athletes, ladies that have won all these championships, they're living here. We're helping to support that activity as well by shopping local. Kudos to staff for getting the budget report this early. I know I said that before, but that's really gives us a chance to really dig in. It's gonna be the first time for some of us, I'm sure, kind of the first time for some of y'all. And we just wanna, we try to stay out of your all's way while you're doing it, because we wanna let you do what you do, but it's very fun to study that, for me at least. Also owning property downtown, I know several of us in the room own property downtown. I think the vacant building thing is probably gonna be a little bit controversial, but it's something I think is overdue. We need to get something done with it. There are a lot of absentee owners that you can't contact in a pinch. There's, several windows that get broke out, and then it's 2 or 3 weeks before anybody can fix them because they're not around. They don't know about it. With that, I think I'll just stop there, and we will convene city commission meeting by the power of the chair, and we will go to Shawnee Airport Authority.
Gotta be quicker in it. Gotta be quick.
Click too many
My
times.
mouse is being weird tonight.
Am I on there?
Oh, here we go again.
Okay.
You're good.
Here we go.
Am I in or not? I can't,
Just flash.
yeah. I'm happy to voice vote.
You keep going back and forth.
Well, it's not letting.
Joined and not joined.
It's not
He's
letting
doing
me-
it on purpose.
It's not letting me.
I
say.
saw him do it, I'm just kidding.
Oh, there you go. Now I'm really out.
Yeah, it says he needs to restart. He's not making that up.
But you're in? You're in, yes. You need help?
Yeah, can you come help me?
That
All
was
good?
fast.
Oh,
Really
still?
fast. It's
Am I in there?
You are?
All right.
It's gonna take like
Taking instructions well.
That was
Yeah.
super fast.
We gave you the back computer.
Seriously, my mouse is, I would click yes and it would go on no. It was quite entertaining, actually.
Lord's trying to tell you that.
I know, I guess so. It's rigged, it's rigged. I honestly thought there was like water on it or something.
Yeah.
It was really.
I'm happy to voice vote.
She's just gonna stare at you awkwardly.
Well, my computer's like restarting.
Well, you may join as we
Yeah.
get on going, so.
Ready to rock? Okay, item number 1, consider approval of consent agenda, minutes from the March 17th, 2025 regular meeting. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We'll vote on the minutes.
Roman vote.
Oh,
Yeah.
was like, why are you doing thumbs up? You're not locked in. I'm so confused. That's his vote.
The Senate.
Yeah.
Mayor, it's
Yeah, the
gonna
Monday.
show 6, just because vice mayor is not joined in the meeting.
Okay.
Hey.
Motion carries 7-0.
He's getting there.
Item number 2, consideration of a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept grant offers from the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, for construction of a taxi lane for T-hangars, rehabilitation of an existing T-hangar taxi lane, and rehabilitation of the main aircraft parking apron at the Shawnee Regional Airport. CIP Task Order number 1. Call on Bonnie Wilson, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Following on the theme of rebuilding after tornado. This is a progress report in a good way. We're here tonight to let you know that the FAA has published their schedule for applications and approvals. We are working diligently with the ODAA, the engineering firm of Lockyer Engineering, prepare all the paperwork. The truth of the matter is we will meet those deadlines and not necessarily have time to come back and visit with this organization and ask for authorization to do the application itself or to accept any of the offers that are put forward. So this is sort of a presumptive request to say that, if you will, please authorize the interim city manager to execute those grant applications as soon as those numbers are finalized, send them into the FAA, and then say thank you when they send us a grant. And answer any questions related to the project, I'd be happy to do so.
This will help facilitate and speed things along, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
No bumps.
It's a very difficult time of year because in practical reality, you cannot actually send in your application for the grant until you have a fully completed bid that you've analyzed and compared to the other competitive bids. So you must put the hard bid numbers in, and then you have almost no time to turn around, send that in with the application itself, and then the FAA has a tendency to review those in great detail and make those grant offers to us moments before the federal fiscal year ends. And so if we have authorization now to proceed forward and bring the application together, once we receive the bids, of course the bids will be shared here, we would ask that the award of the construction contract only be contingent on receipt of the grants, but we do need those numbers to make it through those hoops and against those deadlines that are established by the FAA, who's assisting us with this and making a reimbursement then to the ODAA, who's helped us get this far.
Any other questions for Bonnie on this item, or this resolution? Okay, can we get a
Thank you
motion?
very much.
Thank you.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. We'll call on the city attorney to read resolution title.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A resolution authorizing the city manager to accept grant offers from the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration for construction of a taxi lane for T-hangars, rehabilitation of an existing T-hangar taxi lane, and rehabilitation of the main aircraft parking apron at the Shawnee Regional Airport. CIP Task Order number 1.
And now we shall vote.
I am voting.
It's not, yeah, it's not.
Motion carries 7-0. On to item number 3. Consideration to authorize the interim city manager to enter into contracts to obtain appraisals of airport property. Mark Simpson, interim city manager for staff report.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, this item is requesting that the commission authorize the city manager's office to enter into contracts to obtain appraisals of the airport property. It's more of a housekeeping measure to determine fair market value of airport properties to maintain FAA compliance. We placed this item on the agenda because the cumulative effort will exceed the spending power of the city manager's office. So we're seeking your permission to do so, and we recommend approval. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
No questions? All right, can we get a motion, please?
I'll move to approve item number 3.
I'll second.
And a motion and a second.
There it is.
It came up,
You
huh?
have to do thumbs up anyway.
1 out of 3.
Just,
Item carries 7-0. On to item number 4. Any new business, Mr. City Manager?
Sir.
All right, then we will adjourn and go to the Shawnee Municipal Authority, please.
oh, now it's doing it to me. Dang it.
So you gotta leave the meeting, right?
Leave.
That's what I've been
You
doing.
just gotta be quick. I did it 4 times.
Oh.
I'm in, eh?
Boo.
You thought I was gonna click it, didn't you?
I was like,
I'm in.
It's not.
Don't do it.
I don't think it's gonna let me
You need
in.
help over there?
Yeah, I may need help over here.
Oh.
I did it, like, I've done it like 9.
I'm rubbing off on
So
everybody.
this is yes, this is no.
Because it won't let me in the.
Is that abstain?
Yeah.
Right.
Got it. Got it.
Do you see?
I know. Apparently I'm manually.
I showed Commissioner Mattson this drawing.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, well, okay,
I'll
we'll see.
just look at you.
We'll just see, yeah, we'll just see what happens. Cool.
Okay. Good to go now? Okay. Item number 1, consider approval of consent agenda. Minutes from the March 17th, 2025 regular meeting. Can I
Move to
get a motion?
approve.
And a second?
Second.
Motion and a second.
Oh, it actually did work. Look at me.
So fancy.
I don't have one.
So yours didn't pop up?
Not either.
Got 'em.
Tonight's fun. It's fun.
I have nothing.
Nope.
I
He's
will vote
like,
yes.
That was good
Got
form.
nothing.
he's like, I'm showing my hands, I'm showing my hands.
And the motion carries 7-0. On to item number 2, new business. Any new business, Mr. Interim City Manager? Thank you, sir. And we will adjourn from the SMA back to the City Commission meeting. Item number 15. Get back here so I read it without messing it up. Consider an executive session for the purpose of finalizing a contract with Mark Simpson for performance of duties as city manager pursuant to 25 Oklahoma Statute 307B1, discussing the employment, hiring, appointment, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer or employee. Any discussion?
Move to go into executive session.
Second.
A motion and a second?
Yeah, we gotta vote.
Well,
I was gonna do the thumbs.
yeah, I'm just gonna say aye. So weird.
Apparently we only took a shot of whiskey this time.
Commissioner Overmars, were you able to vote?
Motion carries 7-0. We will now go to executive session.
excited.
All right. I'm going to make a motion to withdraw a recommendation to form search committee for new city manager and to affirm appointment of interim city manager and set review of interim city manager at the August 2025 meeting.
Second?
Okay, motion a second.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Pass it down.
Give it to Lisa.
Mayor, did you give an option to vote?
This is gonna be how we do all of them.
Motion carries 7-0, and we are adjourned.
Good job, everybody.
Uh-oh.